Go ahead. Chelsea, does it look like we're recording? Can you double check?
Yep, we're good.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Kern County Science Fair registration system demonstration. I'm Michelle Roy. I am a content coordinator, specifically science, here at Kern County Superintendent of Schools. And I'm here today with my colleague, Chelsea. Chelsea's here she's one of the co-facilitators of the Kern County Science Fair. And today it's our mission to demonstrate the registration system for those of you who are, especially those of you who are new, who've never seen this. We're here to demonstrate how to get things going, get your students registered, get you registered, et cetera, et cetera, in preparation for science fair. If you have questions along the way, well, first of all, make sure that you're on mute. And if you do have questions along the way, we're going to hold, I will stop at the end and take any questions that anyone has then. But if you have questions along the way, you're welcome to drop those in the chat. Chelsea will be watching the chat and answering as many of those as we can get answered in real time. Also, if there are two ways that you could experience today's demonstration. You can either just watch and know that this is being recorded. You could watch it back later. Maybe that's the best way for you to process the information. Or if you would like, you can play along, if you will, and maybe create a test account as we go through things today. All I ask though is that if you are playing along, creating a test account just for practice today, that somehow you indicate that as part of either the username or the name of the person that you're registering, so that after all of this is over, I can go ahead and delete those and don't actually think that that's a real person and enter them into the competition. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So here we are with our Zfairs student registration, teacher registration, judge registration website. It's a one-stop shop. Um, you'll notice there's some directions, some information here for you. I do want to point out that here are all of the goodies, if you will, for Science Fair, all linked here. So if you're looking for instance, a rule book, or you're looking for the forms, there are two forms that have to be uploaded to this registration portal for each and every student who's registered. And you can find those forms here. It's a student parent signature form, that one there, as well as this risk assessment form. And you'll also notice that we have both of those in Spanish if that's what you need for your students. But bottom line is that all students will need each of those two forms completed. You're going to print them, fill them out, get them signed, and then you'll upload them to the portal. So every student needs to have their own registration account, and every teacher needs to have a registration account. And by and large, because we've been using the system for quite a few years, every school, all the schools that have previously participated or already have their schools in the system, but you'll be able to see that once we get rocking and rolling. With the exception, though, I did just help one of our new schools in the Panama School District get their school entered into the system. But really, at this point, if your school's been around a bit, it's probably already in the system. So you come here, and if you're new, if you have never, if you're a new teacher to Zfairs, you are going to first create an account for yourself. And you very easily do that by coming over here to create account. And you're going to create a teacher account. And this is really simple. I don't need to demonstrate this, but you can't create a student account without creating a teacher account first. So again, if you are new, brand new, you're going to come over here to create account and create that teacher account for yourself first. That has to be the first thing you've done. If you're a returning teacher and you're just here this afternoon for a refresher, your teacher account from the past should work. If you're having, you may need to reset your password if you forgot, or if you're struggling with getting in, all you have to do is email us. We'll make sure that you have our email addresses before we finish today. And you can email those questions to us to get yourself logged in. But bottom line, there has to be a teacher account created first. Then you're going to create an account for each of your students that will be participating in the Kern County Science Fair. And just to be clear, you are only going to register the students who will actually be participating in the Kern County Science Fair. You don't need to register the students who are who are participating in your school science fairs. I don't need to know who they are. I only want the students registered who are actually going to be participating in the Kern County Science Fair. So same place, create account, select participant. All right, here we go. Now, you get to select and enter a username, the participant's first name, last name, and an email address. Now, something to think about in terms of this email address. This is going to be the primary email address where lots and lots and lots of information will be sent. This email address needs to be an active email address that can be checked regularly. And I know that some student email accounts, it's not even possible to check the email for that email address. So that would not be a good email address to use here. Sometimes teachers use a student email that can be checked. Sometimes it's a personal email for a student. Sometimes it's a school email for a student if it's checkable. Sometimes teachers even use the teacher email address. So it's really up to you and how you want to police this, where you want the emails from us to go. So here we go. I am going to create a username. I'm going to call myself Test 2026. And since I'm creating a dummy account today, I think I'm going to be Santa Claus. Okay. And I can use my email address here. I'm going to put my email address in there, confirm my email address. Once all that is entered, and eventually you do receive a confirmation email that does include the username. So if you forget what you created, that will get sent to you. And then we save and continue. All right, yay, we have success so far. All right, so there's my username. It's been pre-populated. So as far as a phone number goes, typically it's best that this be a phone number that can be reached. So I'm going to put my phone number in there. Include a cell phone if you think that we might need that. What gender is the student? And there will be an option around t-shirts this year. So be sure to give us a size. There. Then enter your password. Let me enter my password there and then confirm it. All right. Now, a parent first and last name can be helpful. If you can enter that for us. It can also be helpful to have a parent email address here in the portal. And just for demonstration purposes today, I am going to put my email address, and I will share that sometimes. There have been teachers who actually use their own email for the parent email because they prefer that the emails that get sent go to the teacher as opposed to the parent. But that's really a personal choice. But you'll see now that the cells have been filled in. All right. I'm not going to save that password. Now, let's talk about this screen. So at this point, keep in mind that students in grades 6 to 12 can do group projects. Our kiddos in grades 4 and 5 do not have the group project option. So they get registered by themselves. But bottom line is this, each and every student has to have, you have to register each student separately. So let's pretend that at this point, I'm registering the first student. So I'm going to go over here, or I'm either registering the first student in a group, or I'm registering a student who's competing individually. I'm going to start over here in the new entry. But I want to mention while we're here that let's say that I am registering a student who's part of a group. So when I come back to register student number 2 that's in the group, and I get to this screen, I'm actually going to go here to link to existing entry so that Zfairs knows that Billy, Bobby, and Susie, who are each registered separately, are actually all part of a group. And that's what happens on this screen. But for demonstration purposes today, we're going to register our first student there, or they're an individual project. So we click Start. All right. So here is where we open down my ginormous drop-down menu of schools. And just be careful that you are selecting the correct school. You got to be careful too, because sometimes there are a couple situations in Kern County where there are multiple schools with the same name, and you'll see here where, like, for instance, I was looking at Mountain View, right? So check it out. Mountain View, there's a Mountain View school in Bakersfield, and there's a Mountain View school in Lamont. So you need to be careful to choose the correct Mountain View. Oh, look at that. And then there's even another Mountain View that's in here. So just be real careful about where the student goes to school. But today I go to, let's see, I go to Myrtle. My student goes to Myrtle Avenue School. Okay, and the teacher there for Myrtle Avenue is Veronica Resendez. Pick the teacher, and I'm registering a 4th grader. Okay, all pretty self-explanatory there. All right. Now this screen, you've got to enter the title that is going to be used for competition. Okay. Now for demonstration purposes today, and to move things along quick, I'm going to call my experiment, I'm just giving my project today a simple title, Dog. But whatever the title of the project is, enter it there in its entirety, because this is all official information. All right, and then you get to suggest which category you think that the project goes in, but please understand that when later, before the actual fair itself, the scientific review committee will meet to make sure that the projects are appropriately placed in the appropriate category. And oftentimes, the category that's suggested by the teacher coach may not be the category that the scientific review committee thinks that the project should be competing in. So the project may end up getting moved to a different category. And when that happens, those decisions are final, those decisions that are made by the scientific review committee. And it's based on those decisions around what category, which projects should be competing against each other in what categories are determined by the abstract. And that's why, of all the things that you're going to be entering into the portal, this abstract box right here is the most important bit of information. And the more information, the more detailed the project abstract can be, the better, so that we can get so that the scientific review committee and those of us putting the projects into categories can have the most information possible to make the best decision in terms of competition for that project. So please make sure that this cell here is filled in completely and appropriately, and with lots of really rich information about that student's project. You'll notice here you have an option for our students in grades 6 to 12 can opt to have electricity available to them. Students in grades 4 and 5 do not have the electricity option. And you'll notice this other option here, consider this project for ISEF, International Science and Engineering Fair. That's only for high school kids. And that is literally an international science fair where the day of the event, we actually have a special judging panel who will go around and interview. The students will have a special interview for ISEF consideration. All the students who check this box who are in high school will have that special interview. Our students in grades 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, this is not for you. ISEF is only for our high school students. And ISEF consideration is optional. Oops, see what happens? The system does not like it if you don't fill it in. Now, for demonstration purposes today, I'm just going to put some information in here so that I can move along to the next screen, but please make sure and fill this in completely. All right, there we go. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the session today, there are 2 forms that every student must have uploaded into their registration portal. And you can find those on the homepage of this website. You can print those, fill them out, and then here is where you upload them. So here, right here under Form 1, that's where Form 1 goes. And you click Upload, and you'll be able to pull it off of your computer, upload it here. And then same thing here with the risk assessment form. All students will also complete the risk assessment form, even if there's no risk. That still needs to be filled out and signed and uploaded here. And you can see that's where it goes. Select your file, you'll pull it off your computer, upload it. Easy peasy. Once your 2 forms are uploaded, and you can, when you're going through for the first time, and let's say all the paperwork the registration deadline is technically January 16th. That's by when we need all these registration accounts created. If by January 16th you actually don't have these 2 forms quite ready yet, you can have a couple more days to do that, and you can actually then just go back and log into the student's account and upload those later. Those don't have to be uploaded in order to move forward in the registration process. Now, this is pretty critical because we do operate under a very stringent, stringent layers, code of conduct, code of ethics, if you will. And including there is a $15 registration fee per student And typically that $15 registration is paid for by either the school site or the district. And there are some situations where schools or districts decide to have the family be responsible for that fee, but there is a $15 per student registration fee that needs to be submitted. So you're going to agree to that. I have read the following statements and agree that I will follow the rules of the fair. I have read the rules and regulations, which are posted. You can pull the rules document off the homepage of the registration site where I showed you earlier. You have read the descriptions of things. You understand, the student understands that anything that's displayed at the Kern County Science Fair, if it gets lost or stolen, that's the responsibility of the students. And so, bottom line, don't bring anything to the fair that the world will end if it gets lost or broken. And beyond that, the Kern County Science Fair is a very large, high profile event, and media does show up from our television stations. Things are posted on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to give consent for that. On the off chance that you do have maybe a family that really, really doesn't want their student photographed or to have any contact with the media, if you could let us know, if you could email us and let us know the name and school of that student, we can work together to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, this is the payment screen, which technically you're not going to be paying anything here. This is more just a notification. I will say that we do not at this time. At this time, we're not accepting credit card. So we're going to click pay and continue. And here's where either you're going to pay by check. I'll be paying by registration by check. I understand that it's my responsibility, blah, 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 blah. Or you can choose this other option. Either way, you're going to pick one of those. And ta-da! That is the end of the logistics part of registering. Now, if you were playing along and you created an account, if you were practicing along the way, you can check to see if you received a confirmation email. At the end of, at this point, when you roll over to this screen, there is typically a confirmation email that's generated. But that doesn't necessarily mean the registration is 100% complete, because remember I mentioned we haven't done our forms and my abstract is not finished. So to do that, you're going to log back in. So the student's account's name is Santa. So let's go all the way out. Let's log out. Pretend I'm done for the day. All right. And I'll log back in. Oops. Hopefully I put my password in correctly. Yeah, it looks like I did it. Okay. So this is what it looks like when you return, right? And mostly you're going to be returning to take care of paperwork, right? So here's what it looks like when you return, when you log in after you've created the account, the student account. Go up here to paperwork, and voila, there are those two places where you can upload those files, complete the process. And that's really it. It's really that simple. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording.